Okay, it's always a little bit awkward when I introduce like my own interviews, but this one's special. Sean Rad and I met like 2 years ago at the backstage of TechCrunch Disrupt Europe. We hung out and it was like fun. And then last year at TechCrunch Disrupt San Francisco, we actually got on stage, chatted things out. A lot has happened in the last 6 months. So we're kind of reuniting. It feels so good. Come on out, Sean. Let's do it. Get off your phone. Stop. Come on.
Hello. Hey, Jordan.
Hey, Shawnee. Oh, we're like.
I know.
Should we just sit up or
sink in?
Okay, we'll figure it out as we go. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm excited to be on stage with you.
Yeah, I mean,
it's been a while.
Feels like a normal thing now.
I know.
Do this once
every week, show like weekly sessions.
Even. We could just sit up.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last time we talked was at Disrupt San Francisco, like you just said. Is my mic not working? Because it sounds like it's not. Okay, perfect. Hello. That better? Can I take the mic out of my ear then? Okay.
Is mine working?
Your mic is good.
Cool.
It was just me. Okay, so last Disrupt, we sat down together. A lot has changed since.
Yeah.
So one thing that's changed is that you've moved into the president role and you've moved into a product role. And you brought
I was always in a product role,
obviously.
But focusing more on product.
Doubling down on product.
Yes.
Let's put it that way.
Yes.
And you've brought on, Chris Payne. Let's talk about like how that partnership is working, how he's fitting in, and kind of the transition with new people on the team.
It's great. I mean, Chris is so wonderful, and I'm already learning so much from him. And I think the goal to sort of bring a level of maturity and experience that we didn't have before is sort of being fulfilled, and allow me to focus more on product and marketing and the parts of the business that sort of need my attention. And I think it's going incredibly well. Like I'm incredibly happy.
We've talked before about like some of these hires being around like data, right? Because you're matching so many people so quickly, and you're trying to understand preferences about people. I'm sure that Chris coming on is helpful with that. I'm really curious, like, what do you actually know about your users, right? Like, so, because photos seem important. That's how people are making decisions.
Yep.
Yeah, there's age, and yeah, there's a name, but on a very like instinctual level, we're looking at a picture and just swiping yes or no. So do you know what my pictures are of? Like, what do you know about me? And do you know I prefer brunettes? Like, what do you know?
well, we're friends, so I know a lot about you. But we can't really talk about what data we use. But yes, we collect a lot of data, and there's a whole team that's continuously looking at different pockets of data we can capture and using that to generate more relevant matches. And that's a big part of what we focus on and what we think about. I can't go into specifics about what we collect, but there's sort of a set of implicit signals that we know about you and based on your behavior and whatnot, and some explicit signals based on just information you give us when you sign up.
Yeah, that Facebook sign-in helps a lot, right?
Yeah,
data.
It does. It makes it easy.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just get right into Tinder Plus, because I feel like that's big news. Ads is the first thing that I want to talk about. Budweiser, and there's also been some kind of like, maybe not sponsored, but partnerships with like big artists and stuff like that. I see that there's multiple ad units. I know you don't want to call those partnership ad units.
Well, yeah. So those aren't ad units. There's sort of two, I would say, promotional offerings within Tinder. There's partnerships we've done in the past with, I would say, people who have exclusive, interesting content that we want to bring to our audience, and things that really align with the brand. And for example, Jason Derulo launched an album exclusively on Tinder, and then we're also throwing events with him around the world and with other artists.
Did you make money off of that?
No, we didn't. So that's an example of, it's more of like a barter. There's a value exchange in that relationship, and we've done those for a while. Then we released, this year, an ad product. And this is for brands who want to reach their respective audiences on Tinder. You come into the platform, you create what looks like a profile, and we promote that to the top of everyone's stack. And there's a beautiful video ad that our users can interact with.
Are you getting a lot of like left swipes on your ads? Like, because it doesn't really make a difference whether you left swipe or right swipe, but instinctually, I'm telling you I either like that or not, because that's the behavior I learned.
So it's interesting. So the way we design the system is that if you swipe left or right, that's actually a signal that we use in targeting. Once there's more volume of ads, it'll be leveraged more. But it's interesting because we didn't tell our users that that's how it works, but instinctually people just figured it out, and which was just great to see.
That's great data to give back to your brands.
It is, and it's great. Going back to your first question, what data that we use in sort of generating better recommendations, that extends to advertising, and our goal being to sort of get you better people recommendations, but also better content recommendations through the ads.
Okay, so with Tinder Plus, you launched premium features, which include passport and rewind.
Mm-hmm.
Ads, so you can get out of ads with Tinder Plus.
Yep.
There's one other piece, right swipe limiter. You guys call it bouncer. I call it the right swipe. Giving him a really catchy name.
Well, we're limiting the
number of right swipes
in a 12-hour period. Correct.
Right. So let's talk about why that's even necessary. Because you've got premium features, you've got a way to get out of ads.
Mm-hmm.
Like why? Why limit people's right swipes when they are clearly enjoying swiping?
Yeah. So there's two different things. There's Tinder Plus, which is really about us giving our users a set of superpowers. Things that we wouldn't want to be free for everyone, but the sort of ambitious select few can pay and get a set of services that add a lot of value to their experience. And then independently of that, we decided to curb your behavior with right swiping, and we focus a lot on increasing the quality of a match. Internally we have all these metrics that help understand how valuable a match is, and what we realized is if we could get our audience to be more thoughtful in who they are liking, it would have a sort of broader ecosystem impact. And that's really what Bouncer was about. The idea is, or we call it internally Bouncer, but the idea is to educate our users on being more selective, and it worked. And for those who don't want to be selective and don't want to sort of listen to our guidance, they can, as a Tinder Plus member, they can do whatever they want. And the results are great. So for example, we've increased the average number of conversations or messages being exchanged within a match by 20%. We drastically reduced spam. I mean, we threw a wrench in our sort of. I mean, we've always been pretty good at curbing spam, but we did an even better job there, and we're like incredibly satisfied with the results.
So, okay, you want to limit right swipes, and I understand the value of the match should stay high. It's like a dopamine hit when you get a like on Instagram, but it's a much more powerful one because sex is involved. So.
Sometimes.
Sometimes it's just about friendship, right, Sean?
Of course.
So what if I'm the kind of user that enjoys Tinder because I can swipe right on everyone and I can get a general readout of who likes me in my area? Out of 100 people that I swipe right on, like 15 of them really like me. That gives me a nice little indicator of my own sexual prowess.
Well, so first of all, most users will never see the limit. Most users will never hit the limit. Yeah.
Right. But I have hit the limit. So better question.
Well, you're an active user.
I am an active user,
yeah.
Let me say. No, okay, so do you want Tinder to be a social utility that helps people meet up? Or do you want it to be a time sink where you open your phone up and you start judging people, essentially?
Yeah, I think there's multiple aspects to how people use Tinder. I think at the most base superficial level, it is about like discovering cool content, right? On Twitter, it's tweets. On Instagram, it's user-generated photos. On Tinder, it's people. At the end of the day, we have similar sort of engagement times, and on Tinder, instead of looking at tweets or photos of content, you're looking at people and you're digesting people, and that's fun. And instead of a like, you have a like on Instagram. On Tinder, you get a match, and that's sort of that the sort of feedback loop within the system, so it makes you feel good about yourself and has dopamine rush. So at like the surface level, Tinder's just this fun, light experience, discover cool content. But when you go deeper, it has transformative effects on people's lives, because it's almost like accidentally. A lot of the times people who sign up don't intend to meet people on Tinder. They sign up for the fun of swiping, and then they have a match, and that match leads to real world connection that has sometimes transformative impact on their lives. So I think it's really cool how it's about entertainment, but then it has this transformative value, like unexpected value it gives people. And then there's obviously users that just consciously go in looking for that value.
So I know that Bouncer is a good way to kind of curb this, but if you compare Tinder to other social platforms, other social platforms are a volume play. So I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I slowly get more and more followers, I get more and more likes, the dopamine goes up and up and up as I get more and more, right? Whereas on Tinder, you're asking people to slow down.
Yep.
So how do you create addicts out of your users and still keep the value of a match high? How do you balance those things? I realize Bouncer is a part of that, but long term, thinking about it.
Yeah, I think it is about balancing, like you said, and I think our primary goal and motive is to create quality matches. It's about connecting people. Like that's why we wake up every morning. That's all we think about, is how do we break down the barriers in connecting people. And that's what we care about above everything. It's not sort of hitting some vanity metrics of engagement or swipes or something like that. At the end of the day, if you meet somebody and that's a valuable connection in your life, then we've done our job. But Tinder's fun, and we got to respect that too, because some people are there just because it's fun to swipe. So I think it's really about how you balance these things. Like, for example, like I said, Bouncer, most people will never see or experience the right swipe limiter, as you call it. But it's our way of just nudging people into a slightly better pattern, and that's good for them, and it's good for the whole ecosystem. And like I said, it's working, and it's working wonderfully.
So you brought up metrics, and I was thinking about this for the last week. So you and I have talked a lot on the phone and other things about the value of a match, and I'm all about it, right? It should be a high value priority for you. But you've always measured Tinder's success, or at least publicly, the metrics that we always get are swipes and matches.
Yep.
And through this process of the omni swiper, the power swiper, and the millions of matches being made, that metric seems like it might be a little bit empty now, or we're bringing the value of that match back up. But for a while, that could be an empty metric. How do we gauge? Like you said, it's all about the meaningful connection, right? How do you gauge the success of Tinder?
Well, again, so there's like different types of matches. There's different sort of there's a match that just boosts your ego. Maybe it'll never even lead to conversation, but that has value because it makes you feel good about yourself. There's a match that might lead to an interesting conversation, but never a real world meetup because for whatever reason that person's not interesting to meet up with in the real world. And then there are matches that sort of you have a deeper connection with, and you want to sort of take that relationship offline. And all of those are valuable to us. So I think, again, it's not one thing that we look at. It's sort of we look at sort of primarily the ultimate value that we're driving, because that's what's going to bring you back. If you meet somebody who had an impact on your life because of us, you're always going to come back. Like that's the highest value. But we also look at sort of creating interesting conversations, and we look at the entertainment value, and there are different metrics that represent all of the above, and we sort of monitor all of them.
And one day, maybe for like my birthday, you'll tell me some of them.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, cool. That would be nice of you. Let's talk about pricing.
Yep.
So for those of you that don't know, Tinder Plus is priced differently for older people. And it's not made everyone happy.
It's actually, okay, I'll let you answer.
I mean, you can interrupt me. What is it? Tell me.
Well, so our intent is to provide a discount for our younger users, and
It's like an explanation of net
Which,
neutrality.
by the way, I mean, it's so common. I mean, different, every company experiments with different pricing. And our goal is to just allow every user who wants the features of Tinder Plus, our goal is to just increase engagement and get more people using Tinder Plus. And what that means is offering discounts to different users. And we're still experimenting with that. The basically pricing is changing all the time. And we have this global audience. So, there's geography plays into effect as well.
I understand that you want to experiment, obviously, but I don't understand why, when you have such a clear premium product, it's clear, right? You get out of ads, you have premium features. It's a clear value proposition. Why not make a clear pricing model? $10 across the board a month, and you'd still make lots of money. Why $20 for someone who's older?
It's not about necessarily optimizing for the dollars that we're bringing in. It's more about optimizing for the number of people that can experience these features. It's about both, right? So for example, if I live in a emerging country, or I live somewhere where there's an emerging economy, I can't afford to pay as much as somebody who lives in the U.S. So I think there are different things you got to consider, and to the extent that we can do that, I think we bring the offering to everyone. I mean, we don't want Tinder Plus to be something that's free to everyone, because that would ruin the whole experience. I mean, those features are things that you want to limit. They are superpowers, and if you give superpowers to everyone, then they're no longer superpowers. It becomes the norm. And you also, at the same time, want as many people who can experience them to experience them, which is a function of pricing.
Okay, so you don't have to really go into this too much, but to me it seems like Facebook had this same kind of issue at a certain point, because they were full of college kids. Super cool, right? College kids.
Yeah.
High school kids,
College kids
still cool.
Yeah.
And then one day they were like, moms, dads, children of all ages, jump on board. And it became a less cool place to be. So charging more for someone who's older might be a kind of network effect type thing. Am I on the right track at all with that?
Do you not like old people?
That was a nice way to turn that around.
No, we'd love everyone to be on Tinder. I think when we look at Tinder, it's solving a basic human need. Doesn't matter if you're 30, 20, 40, 50. When you want to meet somebody, we have a very effective platform that can help you. And we want everyone on Tinder.
So we talked about how you have a new product launch coming up, but you didn't tell me what. So I'm just going to start throwing out guesses, and everybody watches face. Direct photo messaging. No,
that's boring.
Really?
I mean, we have bigger ambitions than that.
Okay.
That's like obvious.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, well then why don't you throw out a guess?
Nice try. No, I mean, there's, when we look at our product roadmap, there's sort of a set of things that we're doing to perfect the existing experience. One-on-one photo messaging might be one of those things, something we've given a lot of thought to. There are reasons, we might not want to do it. And then there are more ambitious goals that we have with the product roadmap. And our goal again is to help connect people wherever they are. And we're doing that really well when it comes to relationships, or connecting people based on some sort of romantic encounter. But we think more broadly than that. We think about how do we connect people, period, whether it's romance or whatever. And there's other ways of doing it. One of the ways is the double opt-in and what we're doing, but there are other ways to break down the barrier. So I think in the coming year, you might see different ways of leveraging Tinder to connect with people.
Yeah, like maybe professionally. Or
no, not necessarily.
So not verticals.
I didn't mean verticals.
You mean something other than the double right swipe?
Right. Different experiences. I think again, who we are as a company isn't necessarily about a swipe. It's about connecting people. There are a lot of ways of doing that, and that's what we think about all day long, and we have some ambitious ideas there.
I heard we have a very short amount of time, and I heard there were celebrities on Tinder, so I would like confirmation. Hillary Duff, Leonardo DiCaprio, what's going on with those guys?
So there are
And can you match me with
Hillary?
Hillary?
Some who, what's that?
Can you match me with Hillary?
I can, I won't.
You can. You won't. God mode.
I don't think she'd be too happy with that.
Everyone in the audience needs to boo Sean right now. That was ridiculous.
I want you all to myself.
Cute.
No, Hillary. So there's a lot of celebrities on Tinder, and some have been vocal about it. Hillary Duff among them, and some are rumored to be on. And I can't, out of respect to them, I don't want to confirm or deny it. But it's cool. I mean, it's cool to see how everyone can use Tinder and how everyone, again, going back to this thing, it's a core human need to meet new people. It doesn't matter if you're a celebrity or, or everyone here. I mean, you want to meet new people, and it sucks. The whole current process sucks, and Tinder makes it easy. And it makes it easy even for celebrities.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're pretty much done. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys, Sean Rad.